go indeed. Thank you all so much for being here, and good evening. You're watching Seeing the Unseen with your host, Christopher LaPrath, and my name's Kenan. I'm the producer of the show, and I do a quick introduction for you here. So tonight, we've got a great show for you. The title is called World of Thought, and really we're all living in a world that is composed of thoughts. I talk a lot about the dreamlike nature of reality. But before I get too much into that, I've got a quick piece of housekeeping to do, which is if there's anyone out there who's joining the show for the first time, just be sure to say hi in whatever chat you're watching the show on. So I know you're here and watching the show, and then we can do a reading for you. So I have a little list here of everyone, and we do it in order. And yeah, the first reading we always do for free for people, and then going forward, it's just $10 per reading, or you can do $100 and cover the whole month. So that being said, I've got just a few quick things on the topic, which is most importantly, we're all here to help one another. And if we can't do that, then at the very least, let's not harm one another. And that's on every level. And something that's important to remember is that thoughts are things, and they're very real. In fact, hurtful and negative thoughts have been shown scientifically. It's been known for a long time now. They literally poison the person thinking them. That's been a medical fact. They can literally look at how a person deals with anger and determine if their likelihood of getting cancer. So negative thoughts act as a poison, but loving thoughts, helpful thoughts, can be healing. They can be very healing with when they have the right power applied behind them. So let's just all do that. Let's help each other on that level of thought, because anytime now, yeah, it's really simple. We're all just here to love one another, and I won't say any more on that tonight, but thanks for listening to me here. Here's Christopher LaPrath. Go ahead and enjoy the show.
Hey, thanks so much. Thank you for being here, everybody. It is. It's absolutely a world of thought. So, with that aspect, here's some incense. Here's a blessing for you to be able to lose those thoughts that are no longer serving you to your best and highest, and to really call in a higher level of energy, a higher level of thought into your life. Because that's what we're here for. And to bless and think great things about the people around us and the world in general. And to bless the world, to bless situations, rather than gossip or talk about how bad things are or why they did this or why they did that. No, it is a world of thought. Now, I have a play on words here in a minute, but a book I'd highly recommend all of you to read, besides my book, is called The Urban Shaman. And as you can see, I have underlined, and I've read this thing maybe 10 or 20 times. It is the philosophy of the Hawaiians, which is Huna. Okay? And it's a beautiful concept. But one of the major principles is that the world is what you think it is. And so it's paying attention to our thoughts, and maybe if we're lucky enough, we have somebody that comes up and questions those thoughts. Maybe they let you know that there's spaghetti sauce on your face. You know, we've talked about this before. You can't see spaghetti sauce on your own face. And you're actually grateful when somebody comes up, especially if you're at a high-end party, and lets you know that you have some tomato sauce on your face so you can take care of it. Or not take care of it, depending. Okay? Did we lose the picture?
What are you talking about?
So
Oh, that one. That's
I think I lost the picture on my monitor. So
looks fine on here. Yeah.
okay, as long as I'm good, I'm good. So if you have somebody you're lucky enough to point out, you know, where is this thought coming from, or maybe even so-called challenge you on your thought, take a really good look at that. Because the world that we're creating with thought. So this hand, if I hit a wall with this hand, I would feel it. It would hurt. But it's actually the reason that I feel it is the way I've trained my brain, because the frequency of my hand, the vibration of my hand, is vibrating very similar to the frequency of the wall. And so we have learned in this system that we live in on Earth that solid objects are appearing to vibrate at a certain frequency. But radio waves and television waves pass right through those walls. Otherwise, we wouldn't have Wi-Fi or television, because they pass right through what appears to be solid because they're a different frequency. Everything that you see is light reflected off an object going into the brain, interpreted by the brain. Everything we smell, everything we taste, same thing, everything we hear, the music we hear, it's a frequency interpreted by the brain. So it's my brain that doesn't like really country music. But everything around us is like a dream. All that sounds like a dream to me, right? So thoughts are reality. What are we paying attention to? So the group card tonight is a really interesting group card.
What's up? I don't know.
It's Thoth. It's the Thoth light codes. Okay. It's Thoth. Thoth was the founder of Atlantis. And as the story goes with Atlantis, people were not following high spiritual principles. Atlantis fell. Thoth moved, then the civilization, or part of it, or what was left of it, to Egypt. And as he taught these divine, magical principles. And it really is based on that it's a world of Thoth. See, I told you I was going to have a play on words. World of thought, world of Thoth. And it's very good because with this power card, which is what this card here, these are called light messages. So everything around us, our eyes are interpreting light. It's all a reflection of light and how the brain interprets it. So with this card holds space for you to come into your greatest gifts in this lifetime and all of the other lifetimes that you've lived. Not just this lifetime and the wisdom that you've gathered, but to allow more light in to be able to see the... sorry, my phone was on. I'll shut my phone off. To be able to see the world in a different light. Okay, and that's where the Thoth comes in. And Thoth was the one who helped people rise above aspects of their life that were holding them back. So think of it as being in a dark room and I actually described it in my book, Trestle Creek, Things the Dead Fear, as being in a dark room. And if you're raised in a dark room, you don't really know or really haven't experienced light, fully light. And if it's too bright, it can actually be blinding. If you pull the curtains back, it's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. You've got to have your eyes time to adjust. So what's happening here with all of us is allowing this spiritual light and for us to adjust to these new ways of thinking, new ways of being, new ways of doing. So that's what the cards are about. When I pull your card tonight, it is to notice the dream as it is, and then to be able to change it with the message. We've all heard of lucid dreaming, where we're sleeping, we're in a dream, we kind of wake up and we know that we're in a dream. We can change the dream. If we're falling off a cliff, we can go in and go, oh, I'm not falling off the cliff, I'm flying off the cliff. So this is the ability to wake up during this dream that a lot of people call reality. Okay, here we go. So John and Sonia are on first. They're at a place where they can't comment, so they texted me and specifically asked if we could pull a card for them. So happy to do it. What have you got to lose, John? What have you got to lose? Go for it. When we're younger, we tend to believe that we're immortal. But as you get older, you've got this big stick, use it. Go for the big. Go for the big. You can't take your money with you. You can't take your things with you. But in devoting money and time to your personal growth, go for it. Absolutely go for it. It's what I've spent 30 years doing. If I had any extra money off to the side, if I got an extra, I would actually go to a seminar. I would buy a book. I would go to an advisor. I would spend that money to better myself. That's what this card is about, John, is using this stick, taking these risks, expressing yourself. What have you got to lose? Tell it like it is. With kindness and love, of course. Okay, Sonia. Oh, John, I think this is literal too. I think it's actually investing in a walking stick. I mentioned this a couple of weeks ago to someone. This walking stick will help you ground. But there's something with a walking stick that's really important. Not that you won't be able to walk, I'm not saying that, but there's something about holding something and grounding with it. Okay. All right, Sonia. This is the cheerleader card. It's the victory card. Can you give yourself a little bit more credit? Can you be the biggest cheerleader for yourself? Look what you've done. Look what you've accomplished. Look what you're healing. You now have the time and wherewithal to heal yourself. So I really appreciate you being on the show. And we can go into more in depth if you ever had a private reading. This is lighting candles. And when you light a candle, put a blessing into the candle for a person that you care about, either on this side or the other side, and forgive them. Allow them to move on. This would be loved ones that have passed. And we can talk about it more in a private reading, but there's more to this, as you can tell. All right, who's next? Hannah. Hannah, trust. I was telling Kenan I was at the Circle K down the road. I had to stop and get something. And 3 people, the line was kind of convoluted, right? Anyway, 3 people went ahead of me or somehow, and it was like, I could have gotten really upset. And I went, oh, no, this is really interesting. This happened for a reason. Because how do I know that if they hadn't got in front of me, that I might have been in a car accident 20 minutes down the road? Those little things matter, and it's a matter of actually trusting the universe and waiting for the universe, waiting for the gut call. And are you willing to let go of forcing anything? Anytime you feel like you're forcing something, that's not a good thing. Allow it. It's when you feel like you're forcing something, open up and allow it. Use that as a signal to go, wait a minute. It's important for me to allow more rather than to force something. It's like forcing a cat to do anything. It's really a waste of spiritual energy. But open up your mind and go, okay, universe, show me what's next. And be like that anticipatory little child that go, oh, what is next? I'm so excited. What present have you got for me next, universe? That's the attitude to have. And are you willing to let go of any religious dogma or religious projections about and we can do a private reading on this one as well. Projections from other people, especially family, about what you should be doing. You need to be doing this. You shouldn't be doing that. Ugh. Love who they are. Be free of loving their belief. Okay. Hey, Marilyn Pitts. My dear, this is satiety. It's the circulatory system. You got to move it, move it. Also, your connections are so much more clear. Great story. Years ago, I worked with a physician from India, highly trained in the Ayurvedic medicines. And I would travel with him because he couldn't drive, so I would be his chauffeur and escort, and I would accompany him to all of his lectures. I would take notes for him. When he would see clients one-on-one, I would take notes. And so I really got to be really close with him. And sometimes there were some people, highly, highly, highly troubled, mentally, physically, emotionally troubled people that would come in. After one particular couple came in that were just extremely troubled, I said, Dr. Mishra, what causes that? And he goes, well, in Ayurveda, we're taught that consciousness comes into the body through trillions and trillions of what you might call capillaries. He said, you're familiar with the circulatory system. And I went, somewhat. I'm not a doctor. He goes, well, the circulatory system, you know, and I'm talking to a nurse here, circulatory system has arteries and veins and then millions of these tiny capillaries. So he said, consciousness comes from the heavens or from around us, all the way, around us. Consciousness comes into our bodies through these, I would call them, consciousness capillaries. Now, we all know what happens when you eat too much fat. Kenan told a story when he was younger. First time he went to donate blood. Before he went to donate blood, he ate a bunch of ham. That's a great story. He goes down to get his blood tested, right? And they couldn't actually even get the blood out. The blood was so clogged with fat. It was just like, anyway. What happens with people is these thoughts that they have, or projections that are on them, or belief systems, actually clog their consciousness arteries. So they're getting less and less circulation. Okay? Less and less connection to the divine, less and less connection to the source. So the more circulation you have in the physical body, the more strength you have. You're just ready to go. So this is really huge kudos for really working and cleaning your circulatory system, your connection to the divine, and letting go of these old thoughts, these thoughts that beat you up, old belief systems, old energies. Huge, huge, huge kudos. Keep working on it. Keep going. But also, even some yoga. I highly recommend yoga, or just even walking and doing some of this stretching will truly help. And you're done taking blood transfusions from other people. You're just done. And I don't mean that physically. You're done, and this has to do with Hannah's card too. You're done having people donate their blood or their soul to you, or their way of thinking, or their way of being, and projecting it on you. You're getting rid of all that. So good job.
Yeah, it's Jared and Kat up next.
Okay. Jared and Kat. Hey, Jared. Hey, Kat. All right, Jared. So, Jared's a dentist. He's a really great dentist. And we've all been to the dentist. One of the first times I went to the dentist, to Jared, Dr. Giatris, he gave me this shot. I won't go into the details. But I did not know that I knew so many curse words. And he and the nurse started laughing hysterically. But it was just like, it just came out. It was like, it hurt. But it prevented me from hurting down the road a few minutes later when I needed to have these teeth taken care of. In the book called Autobiography of a Yogi, there's a master avatar. He's called Babaji. So maybe some of you are familiar with Babaji, but he was a master. He's an avatar, an undying avatar, a person who continues to live throughout eternity. And he had his group of disciples, and this man hiked up the mountain, found this group of people, and wanted to join the group. And Babaji says, okay, come over here. The guy sits down, and Babaji takes his hands and puts it in the fire and burns the guy's hand. And everyone's shocked. They're like, why did you burn his hand? He said, this was a way for him to pay for his karma from a previous life, and it saved him from him and his entire family and their house burning to the ground. And so it was a way to diffuse the energy off of that karma by experiencing a little bit of pain, so you would not experience a lot of bit of pain, much like the shot. So sometimes, Jared, when we experience pain, it's to show us something, or it's leading to something better. It's a way to show us something better. So there's been some protection around you, even though you've experienced some pain, whether it's emotional or mental or even physical, that is to show you that you staved off something even worse. One more story. I did some major work on myself, went to another seminar. This was years ago. And I felt really odd, like I really felt different in a good way. And the next day I was driving home, and I've told this story before. I looked in my rearview mirror and I saw this truck coming up behind me going probably 120 miles an hour. And I sped up. Like I was going 65. I was going the speed limit. I sped up to 75, 85, and I saw I couldn't change lanes because there were cars on both sides. And I had to allow him to hit me. And I knew that if I had not done that work before, that would have been my last day on the planet, right then and there. No one was injured, but the gentleman, he was an older gentleman, he had fallen asleep, and his foot had hit the gas pedal. And it actually prevented me stopping him without a lot of energy. It totaled my car. But hey, I was okay. He was okay. And it didn't cause this horrible pileup during rush hour. So that's what look at life like that, okay, that you're well protected. All right, Kat, here we go. Sind Magus. This is the Magus, the magician cat. When there's a little upheaval, especially with your kids, send them magic energy and do it with fun, like bibbity bobbity boo. It'll make them laugh, but it'll also make them aware that there is magic, and magic can use to heal. So even with what Jared's going through right now, Kat, use this bibbity bobbity boo ability of yours. Thank you for being here. Thank you for pulling this card. It's reminding me to remind all of you, you're pure magic. most of you have been on this show a year. And it's what's really interesting about this, it's maintained at about 20 people throughout the year and so that we've been on the air. Interesting, right? And what impact is this having on you, and then the impact that you're having on others around you? I've often wondered about that there's a reason for it. So this is your magic, and this has to do a lot with Marilyn and Abby too. Abby called me, I think it was today, and she's like, I don't know. I think it's my imagination, but I could actually feel energy going out and blessing people and them reacting to it. And I went, honey, that's not your imagination. That's your magic. So that's what I brought up with you, Kat. And at the same time, when those, because sometimes we all go through these things that Jared goes through, right? Or is going through, that it's a matter of sometimes switching roles and reminding each other that we're magic. And the world is what you think it is. And how can you change that? And any spaghetti that's on your face, we're here to point it out to each other or to help each other wipe it off. Okay? All right. Who's next?
Lindsay next.
Hey, Lindsay. Okay. This is on the wings of angels, Lindsay. I don't know if growing up you had a parakeet or some kind of bird, a canary. This bird is coming through in this reading for you. There's a bird. And it's a spirit like a bird. Wanting to convey the message to you that your imagination of how a bird feels, that freedom, that being able to fly, that's coming. That's there. That's the message for you. Allow it. Are you willing to just allow that feeling of freedom in? Yeah, it's coming this way, and when it comes in through the heart, it pushes out all the negative thinking through the brain, or the comparison as to what happened before with other relationships, with other situations. It's pushing it out. It's coming through the heart and out. Fantastic card. It is definitely an angelic card, but it's definitely a connection to birds. Okay.
Awesome. Austin's up next.
Okay, Austin. Thanks for being here. Universe, show me now what it is that I can contribute toward my own spiritual unfoldment and that of others. This is one of the major. So this is gain. This is the money coming in. It is an awareness and how to use that money for your own spiritual growth. You know, one of the gurus, one of the major spiritual teachers in the world said it takes money to have enlightenment. Because if you want to travel, if you want to go to these high spiritual events, if you want to have personal sessions, money is a lot of the energy of this planet. Okay? Maybe other dimensions, other planets, not so much. But for this planet, this way of being, so there's more money coming into you. Look at how you're using it and how you can use it to the betterment of yourself spiritually. Like investing in your own education, that type of thing. Okay. Mindy's here, my niece.
Marilyn Abbey, I think so.
Marilyn Abbey, okay. Marilyn, you are the knower. Congratulations, huge congratulations on finishing your final. I am so proud of you. You are the Hierophant. The Hierophant is the knower. And just, that was such a great lesson, not just in passing that final exam for you, but for you to really trust yourself. Trust your knowing, letting go, and just acing it. Okay? This is the also, this is the you're processing this seminar, so it's losing all the masks that you had to develop in order to survive when you were younger. So it's literally coughing them up. Like you're literally letting go of this energy. So allow that to leave, and just know that that it's leaving. Okay. And be really proud of yourself. I mean, that's huge. So, good job. Okay, Abby. And Abby, worry never climbed a hill. Worry never paid a bill. Anywhere where you are worrying about anything or anyone, are you willing to let that go now? And I'm always and forever free of the need to worry. I easily and comfortably transform worry into action, transform worry into, can you think of another word, Kenan? Transform worry into joy. Yeah, into ease, into creativity. Whew, good job. All right, who's next?
Wait, Miguel's on this.
Hey, Miguel. Okay, here we go, Miguel. There's something about Hawaii, and there's something about pineapple. I don't know what. You might want to look up the metaphysical benefits of pineapple. I have no idea what that is, but I'm getting strong, really strong pineapple. I'm getting really strong Hawaii here. How do you all right. Rather than say I'm going to Hawaii, can you go, I'm in Hawaii, I'm on the beach, rather than I'm going to the beach? See yourself there. The feeling that you have from doing what it is you love doing, what you've worked so hard in your life. See yourself on that beach. Feel the sand, feel the water, feel the sun, feel the breeze. Be there. Absolutely embody it. You got that picture. Then absolutely get into the feeling of how you want this to be, how you want the rest of your life to be, where you want to be at, and how you want it to look, and know that you can change it at any time. But allow the universe to create that and do it now. Be there now. Stay in the now, but make it so real that it actually creates it. It's creating it in the dream. The ability that you have with your dreams, and you've had lucid dreams, you have amazing dreams. The ability that you have, use that to create. If something is uncomfortable in this life, in the so-called reality that we live in, change it. You have that ability. Change it. We all have that ability. But Miguel, you really have that ability. Like, off the charts. All right, I'm going to call you. We'll talk. Okay, who's next?
Last night is Mindy.
Hey, Mindy. So glad you're here. Thank you for being here, my dearest. So Mindy, get a baggie, like a Ziploc bag. Put a little salt in it, and I want you to sit on it, like in your chair where you're creating, whether we're working. Sit on that salt because it's going to help clear out the base chakra, the Kundalini chakra. It will help clear out any negative charge that's been in there around the procreative lower back hip area. It will help that. This is really doing your passion. You're moving into a place where you can really do your passion and not just make a living, but make a thriving, right? I love that term, making a thriving. Let's all make a thriving. Let's do it now, okay? That's where you're moving to. Yeah. Now, was that the last one? Okay, we have a few minutes. Do any of you have any questions that I may be able to help you with, that the higher self, your spirit, your guides may be able to help you with or answer? What is it that is or might be that you're feeling that I'm here for you? We've got a few minutes left. Let me know if you have a question or something that's been on your mind. Or you could just type one word in there. I don't care what it is, and we can go off of that and see if there's something that I can answer for you or help you with. Hang on a moment.
There you go.
One curiosity is the growing of this connection with people coming through. So let's pull a card on that. Like pinging with people. Okay? So you're in charge of that, Miguel. What type of people do you really want to work with? Okay? So I you, and is are you willing to have it all? Are you willing to have it all? Are you worthy to have it all? And I'm not sure what you mean by pinging with people, but trust that this energy field that you're developing and have developed is going to draw in the right people. They're going to show up and not even know why they're there. Or you'll meet them in the most random places. But and just see what benefit that they can bring to you. Okay? And it's not the reason that you do it that it's not about the selfish, because what you're doing is you're creating this structure to help change the consciousness of the world. So it's a very altruistic, very real goal. Okay. And Hannah says home.
There's Michaela Graver.
Michaela, awesome. I'm so glad you jumped on. And Hannah, if you have a question about home, I'm not sure. Home. Okay. So let me pull up a card for Hannah around the word home. Okay. So you got the Sun card. Home is not a place. Home is here. Home is not a place you go to. Home is here. If you're home here, if you're home in who you are, without any people in the past that may have tried to evict you, work on your home here. The home then on earth is, where is your power place? It seems like Phoenix is a really good place for you, but what part of Phoenix would you really like to live? Where does it feel the best for you? So this next few weekends, go up north, go down south, go out west, go out east. Maybe not so much a lot of east, but you know what I'm talking about. And then we'll pull a card for Michaela. Thanks for being here, Michaela. Hey, I know you're going through a really hard time right now. This is the Ruin card. This is like a sword through the heart. This is going to pass. Universe, show me now what I have not been willing to see or allowed myself to see. Because I know you and I have had some really powerful readings, and you have you've lost people that are really close to you. You've lost animals that are really close to you. But can you trust the bigger picture, that you have not lost them? When somebody moves away, you don't describe it as having lost them. You just go, they've moved away. But you keep in communication with them. They definitely keep in communication with you. But if your ringer's on silent, you're not going to get their messages. Okay? You're not going to get their phone calls. So anywhere, Michaela, that you have put your ringer on silent, can you turn that ringer back on, please, girl? Because you're here, they're there. Okay, they're absolutely there. Even though they may have crossed over. It's just another dimension, right? It's just another neighborhood. It's just another town. If you begin to view it like that, then see how that expands your view of life and really surrounding yourself now animals are extremely protective. They can be very, very protective. And when they die or leave, they're maxed out. Like they can only do so much with the energy. But they're still on the other side protecting you or guiding you. But it's up to us to do something about cleaning up the energy that we need to clean up, that is really important to clean up. And I don't need to tell you, I don't have to keep reminding you or anyone on the show, hey guys, there's a broken glass still in your kitchen. You're going to clean that up, or you're just going to continue to walk barefoot in your kitchen, in and out. You know there's broken glass. You have the energy and the guidance now from the other side, from Dar, from Keith, from those people you've lost, to guide you and provide for you a broom and dustpan. Okay, good. All right, we got everybody? Hannah, I hope I answered your question. But the Sun card, by the way, is the highest card in the deck. So thank you for drawing that for all of us, because we've got this. I'll end with the Sun card for all of us, for everyone, from the very beginning of the show to the very end. This is the great blessing of enlightenment, the great blessing of insight and vision. Great, great blessings to you the rest of this week, and I will see you all Sunday night. Have a great night.